Day 101. And I have decided to kind of talk about something that's been on my mind a little bit, something I've been interested in. And still at the conference, I won something, which is pretty sick. But anyway, I have been thinking about how I've been kind of talking about being on a budget and trying to do art. My hair is not cooperating. Get back. I said get back. I've been talking about being an artist and, being able to build something out of that with a low budget. And a lot of us hear how much musicians have to spend. I mean, artists, musicians, the works. In college, I was friends with many art majors, and they were paying out of pocket for everything: paint, brushes, supplies, canvas, all that stuff. And if they mess something up, they have to pay for it again. And it can get expensive, especially with musicians too. Like, I know musicians who could spend $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 on an EP. They could spend even more than that, and it means a lot to them for it to sound the way they want it to, and also get it in front of people to be heard. But you can make music or art or whatever you're doing on a budget. It's not always the easiest, but it's possible. I, coming from someone who has and halves a low budget build, I can definitely say that there are music that I made, and I literally probably spent like $300 at the most just on everything. So I try not to spend a lot of money because it's just not in the cards that way, especially when I was in college and I was like paying for stuff and like I wanted music to work. I wanted to also be able to have the financial freedom later on to do things, and building it on a budget was probably one of the better things I've done. Now, some people might criticize that and say that the quality isn't the same, but you can get around it and make the quality nice, and people may not even know what you're making it on. On the flip side, you could have high quality instruments and equipment and it doesn't sound good, right? So it's really about getting a baseline and foundation and making it sound good, and then, or look good or whatever, and then going up from there and getting what you need. Which is why I kind of stick in the minimalist camp of making music and life, just doing things and being minimal with it, because you can do things on a minimal budget, but then also be able to upgrade when needed, when it's absolutely necessary. And that's what I do. So going over like my budget build and how I've created some of these songs, the one that I'm going to play right now is Glitter. So I actually made Glitter with very little, and it's one of the songs that people really like. And I also made When the Night Falls, my most popular song, with very little. What I made it with is FL Studio Mobile. And when I say mobile, I don't mean on a phone. I actually purchased it for $37. And, there are digital audio workstations that are a lot of money. And they can be upwards to $300, $400 and up. And buying plugins and buying extras can really add up, and people could spend a lot on that. So I bought FL Studio Mobile and I used it on the laptop, and that was kind of what I was using to be able to make music. So all my music is made on there. I've made things on other things. I was in music production class and stuff in college, and I've worked in Ableton, I've worked in like FL Studio, I've worked in other stuff, but for all my own project, I've done FL Studio Mobile. So I spent $37 on that, and then I spent $35 a year on DistroKid, which is my distributor to be able to put music on streaming services like Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, etc. So $35, and then I bought headphones, probably one of my more expensive purchases, $70. I used a beat up Toshiba laptop that I played video games on, I did music on, I did schoolwork on, and that was the Toshiba laptop I was using. I think at the time I spent $500 on it, but it was a college laptop, so I mean, you can get a cheap laptop. You can find one on Facebook Marketplace. You can find one on eBay. You can find one that will handle it. It handled all my music stuff fine. I didn't really have any issues. Editor's note that I bought the laptop for college and then I used it for music because I already had it for college. But you can definitely get a laptop or a mini PC for a lot cheaper. The mini PC I have now was like $100. So then I bought a wired mic for $15, Facebook Marketplace. And you can shop around, find things, and go from there. And I recorded my instruments from there and everything. Some people may not have instruments. That's okay. You can use the instruments in your workstation to make music. So I recorded a couple instruments on that mic, and then my hotel called me. Sorry about that. But that's kind of all I got for the tech. And then from there, like, I made my own album art. I would take pictures on my phone, or I would record on my phone mic. Like, if I had a voice or something I wanted to record, I would use the wired mic or my phone mic, depending on the era of the music I was making. But I preach being able to make music on a budget, or make, like, create on a budget, because not everyone has a crazy budget to get into their hobbies. And so many people have passion for these things, and they make it work with so little. And I think it's really worthwhile to go after the things that you want to do and be able to, follow that passion. And budget shouldn't be the limit. I want to help musicians and others find ways around having to spend a lot of money to be able to do those things. And I mean, I played shows, and I spent $200 on a DJ controller. That's probably the most I ever spent on a piece of equipment like that. And it worked for me. I was able to make money from it. I was able to make a living from it, and I went on from there. But I was using Serato DJ Lite for the longest, which is free. I was using free programs. I was editing in Photo Mosh and making like my art on that, which I did a video on, making album art, editing, promoting myself. And you can do it all yourself. I'm not saying it's easy, but I am saying that you can have a budget set up and a budget build without having to break the bank and, spend everything that you have to do it. And once you start ramping up in music and making music money, you can take that and reinvest into the items you actually need. Not what other people want or the most popular thing, but what you need, because your necessity is paramount before anything else. So that's all I gotta say. I think that is totally possible. I think you can make that art, you can make that music, you can do what you want to do on a low budget. You just gotta kind of work with it a little bit. And you have any questions on resources or places to find things, dude, let me know. That's all I do. So until then, see you tomorrow.